free love.
Hey, welcome to David's Kitchen. Yeah. Welcome. I am David, and I am ready to go with a flip-flop steam fry, $6 for 6 people. This is a revolutionary way of cooking. I hope it works out for you. I know it's worked out for me every night I tried it. Let's get started. We're going to go ahead and turn the pan on level 3. All right. And take a sip of coffee. Hey, Anderson. Yeah, we've had the real Dr. Phil in here, and now Anderson Cooper. We've got a lot of celebrity chatters coming in after their long job at working for the man. Well, I use level 3 and level 6 McDundy because it's a really good standard for cooking. You can't really screw up at those levels. Really? Oh, you're right. Well, you know my burners pretty well. You're absolutely right. See, this is real-time correction, live, as we see. You spotted it, man. Thank you. Yeah, I would have had my hand on that grill. It was like, oh, check this out. Ah! Yeah, thank you. Let's take a look at the ingredients. Today we'll be cooking with a really great product I've been getting at Trader Joe's, but you can buy smaller versions of this. At the O brand, organic brown rice is now pre-cooked. So we're going to cook with that pre-cooked. Normally this is something you'd microwave face down. It says this is a self-ventilating bag, but I don't use the bag because I don't like microwaving with plastic. So I'm going to go with just putting it on top of this incredible flip-flop steam fry. Today I am going to be cooking with a little bit of a sardine can I picked up. Yeah, see that? Well, it's kind of, yeah, it's a little bit out of focus, but the oil inside the sardines is very viable. It's olive oil in this particular can, so you can use that in your pan. You don't have to throw it out. And it adds a lot of flavor to your meal. Oh yeah. Well, I'm just getting started, New York EMT. And please don't make these constant. If I have to click a link, I don't want to be here. Yeah. Amazing rice and pasta have a very short shelf life after they're cooked. Not in my recipe, no. You'll find that you can eat my recipe out of the refrigerator for at least 2 or 3 days, safely. Probably a week for all I care, but no, 2 or 3 days. You're not going to mod for me, but you keep offering. It's amazing that you're here to mod for me. I mean, you consistently asked, and I'm keeping note of that. You're ahead of the pack right now. So let's take a look at dropping the sardines in on the hot pan here. Well, it's not quite hot yet. Let me wait till it gets hot. In the meantime, I'm going to peel the onion. So I'm going to take the outer layer off the onion. One way to do it is just to cut a little line across the top and then just grab it with your fingernails. Some of you don't have fingernails because you've been biting your fingernails, so unfortunately you're not able to cook. Yeah, if you don't have any fingernails, you can't cook at all. You really need, or get yourself a handy dandy Cutco knife, which is amazing. It's indestructible. The blade is permanent. One of those knives that you never have to sharpen. We're teaching the flex cooking method, which I developed, and I can tell you that the steam fry method is also my concept. If anybody tries to use these names after all the work I've done on this show, good luck. I don't really have a concern about trademarking these types of ideas, but flex cooking started when I realized, well, there's something in the crisper and it has to be eaten, right? Well, I was scammed. $30 for a knife like that. The guy, he lost a friendship. I could have been a good friend. I would never be a friend to a person who tried to get $30 out of my door because he came over with his nice knife set. But I got the true value from him. He let me stay on his couch when I visited him one year in another city. Yeah, we needed a place to crash, and Amber was out in the car, so we just crashed on his couch. And so I guess I got my $30 worth eventually, right? Yeah. Recent polling, the Cutco knife story has done better than others. Yeah. Hey, so here's my onion, and you're not going to eat the base, but you don't want to cut that off, because if you do and put it next to your eyes, you'll cry for hours and hours and hours. You don't want to do that. Okay. You know, I'm looking at these sardines, and I'm going, I should eat one of these things, Well, they come boneless in the can. It's pretty nice. Let me see if I can stuff a sardine in my mouth and eat it. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Just eat the food before you cook it. Mmm. That's good. Yeah. Wow. Mmm.
You're listening to virtual interactive chat like you've never heard before. We are discussing issues from both sides of the political spectrum every night. Join us as we take on the two-party system.
All right, so. I don't want to rush to swallow. It's too good. That was good. If you have a craving for sardines in whatever mustard, that's good. It's got turmeric in it, the yellow mustard ones. Or Tabasco sauce. Oh, those are good too. Or just plain old water or oil, whatever. If you have a craving, you're probably low on zinc. Sardines are loaded with zinc, and zinc prevent your cells from becoming penetrated. The thing about cells is they need zinc to maintain the elasticity of their cell structure. And you remember they had some zinc nasal sprays a while back where people would spray zinc in their nose, and then the FDA pulled it off the market because 16 people at the FDA decided they got sensitivity issues with food when they did it. But believe it or not, people used to spray zinc in their nose, and they still do it in Canada. And it slows down the chance of a cold from penetrating your body, if not prevents it from being really bad. Yeah. All right, so maybe your body's craving zinc, who knows? All right, moving on. I'm going to take that pan and dump the can of oil in it. Get it all in there. I can't really improve the focus on this camera, but it's kind of a problem. I'm not going to worry about it though. Let's take that onion and dice it up. Let me get the knife. This is the knife, 67 blades of steel made from Damascus steel that was sent to me. It's a nice, really nice knife set. Take that onion and cut it in half. You want to lay the onion down on the grill after you slice it in chunks. It just cuts like butter. Always keep your eye on a knife. Never take your eye off the knife, ever. When handling knives, you absolutely have to keep your eye on the knife. Let me move this over here. Thank you. Now, I have a lot of things in the refrigerator that I sometimes have to eat, and like I've got a little piece of broccoli here that I picked up. I agree, a sharp knife is better than a dull one. A smart person is better than a stupid one too, Howie. But not as people go. I mean, people are, we're all equal, but some are better in terms of, their ability to function, if you know what I mean. All right, so I'm going to throw some broccoli spears on top of this. Just kind of cut them off the top, take the head off like that. Drop them in there geometrically positioned so that they kind of balance out with the meal. Try not to get a ruler out and use it, but now this section is usable. See this? Of course you can't see it. See that? That is usable. So I'm going to cut that up, dice it, really, really tight, like that. See? Very small pieces. Broccoli is a cruciferous vegetable, so it will last. It will help build your immune system as well. And do eat a lot of broccoli, a lot of calcium. But I've also got some other things in here. I've got some Brussels sprouts. These have an incredible life in the refrigerator. They stay forever, so you can always draw a few of these out of here. So for the vegetables, I'm accounting for $1. The rice bag cost about $1.50, so I'm up to $2.50. Now with these vegetables like this, you can cut the bottoms off because they're usually tainted. The bottoms usually have something on them, like you see that right there. See it? That's not exactly something you want to eat, right? So what I do is sever these in half and lay them face down in the grill. And what I'm doing is I'm creating a base that's going to have kind of a slow cooking process. I'm going to do that right now. Almost done. Okay. And of course, you guessed it. Yeah, Italian seasoning, right? Your typical $1 jar will do. You can get these for $1 or as low as 50 cents some places, but just throw a lot of it, like a half teaspoon on there. Make sure you're on the grill there, okay. Cover it up on level 3 and let it set. No, I've had steamers. This is way better. Yeah, we do political chat at 6 o'clock, so if you're coming in for that, this is cooking up politics right now. The old flip-flop steam fry. The old flip-flop steam fry. Missed it by that much. 99? Get me my telephone. Get me my shoe phone. I spend very little on groceries, man. I bought a bag of potatoes for $3. It was a 20-pound sack of potatoes for $3, non-GMO. This is kosher because the meat, I had $2.50 I showed you between the rice and the vegetables. The meat is coming out of a bag here that it cost me $9. I got 12 slices of meat in here. So I'm going to pull 3 slices of meat, meaning pollock burgers, out of here. Now this could be anything. This could be turkey. This could be, So I'm going to take 3 of these guys, put them on a plate. And I'm ready to go. A half a burger per serving. So we have 6 half burgers. Now this could be beef, it could be chicken, it could be, well, pork steaks would be, well, maybe pork loin, I don't know. Well, let's be clear. That's just one concept. And then this bag of Brussels sprouts will last me a couple of weeks. No need to look for more vegetables when you got Brussels sprouts sitting around the refrigerator. They'll last for a long time. I happened to be at Sarah's garden, and I picked up, or we picked up, she handed me some of the Swiss chard that would have gone into the compost heap. So here I've got a whole bag of Swiss chard I'm going to pull out. Oh, by the way, those 3 burgers would cost you roughly about $2.50. So I'm up to $5. The difference now is where I go from here is maybe a little cheese, maybe some of this, more vegetables. So I've accommodated $6 for this meal. Check this leaf out. Isn't that amazing? So a Swiss chard, you want to cut the stem off. And you can pretty much discard that, but some people like to steam the stem. I don't know. I'm not a big stem guy. And then with this kind of a material, you can bunch it up and cut it this way by bunching it really tight, like this. And just kind of go like that. Kind of shave it. This is all organic. It came out of her garden. Okay. Leave her that. That'll actually cook down nicely right now on top of this grill. So I'm just going to put that right on top of the other vegetables. Okay, kind of layer it. And you can throw a little bit more Italian seasoning in it. Now, if you want, you can add onion powder and garlic powder. I happen to have a big collection of stuff here. Look at this. Look at this sweet potato. We're letting it grow out, and it's growing. I'm going to cut it up and put it into a couple planters. Maybe get 2 or 3 starters going. That's sweet potato. And all these garlics came out of our yard. So I've got a nice one right here I'm going to work with. And this is the time of year when I replant my garlic, because what garlic does, holy chard, what garlic does is it actually prevents carpenter ants from coming into your house. It's a lot of, it's something about the garlic growing that keeps the ants from coming in, for real. So, welcome to David's Kitchen, there we go. So it keeps the ants from coming in. There's something about garlic growing that sends this vibe. I know, garlic is awesome, Daryl. And I grow it around the perimeter of the house to keep carpenter ants from coming in, and it works. This year I had it down to hardly any carpenter ants. Normally I give you a mute, but I see you're a regular here. Yeah, so I had hardly any today this year, and now I replanted a couple bulbs of that today. And all you do is put it back in the soil and put some steer manure on top. You can buy that for $1.50 or something. And then keep it moist, especially right now. And you'll have germination by October, and they'll grow right on through December, even in snowy weather. And by the time June rolls around again, you're ready to harvest. Seriously. Yeah, onions can do that too, but nothing works better with carpenter ants than growing garlic. You have not been following the orders. There's a serious ban on the words that you're using, sir. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and prep this. And one of the ways I prep garlic is I take a knife, like this big old Rogers and Master Guild, which I had from the 60s. And you don't get that kind of girth in some of the newer ones that I have recently. The really sharp ones don't have the girth. So you need something like this. And this is a French cutting knife. This is a French curl knife. You see the curl on it? That gives it the ability to rock when you're cutting. It's pretty cool. So what you do is you take the blade like that and just pound down on the garlic. You've probably seen this done before. Very simple. Today I'm going to use 5 cloves of garlic. And when you do that, the hull pulls right off. It just literally comes right off, right in front of you. Much better than peeling those skins, takes a lot less time. Boom, 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 and you're done. Okay. Now those Pollock burgers were a little on the frozen side, right? And you're like, gee, I just got home, I gotta make dinner for my family, I better pull it out of the freezer. You don't have to use the microwave on this meal. You can just go ahead and hit whatever you have, you can just lay it on top right now. And what I like to do is kind of put a little bit of extra seasoning. I've got Miss Patty LaBelle here. I'm going to use Miss Patty's no salt seasoning today. I think I can get it. You got to move it around. It's got some curry and it's got turmeric in it, so we're going to use that. Lift the cover of your steam fry and just kind of dust the meat with a little bit of seasoning, like that, face down, like that. Right, like that. And you can use just pepper if you want, and then take the other side and pepper the other side, like this. Maybe a little bit more Patty LaBelle. Yeah, I love turmeric, so I'm going to go with that. Maybe a little bit more Italian seasoning too. Okay. Cover that up and keep it rolling. And just keep cooking. Just keep it rolling at level 3. Yeah, it's good. Good stuff, man. So I will be using a little cheese tonight, and it'll be at the very end. And you'll see how I do this. It's pretty cool. Please don't talk about other people's rooms here. Yeah. Unfortunately, these are bans that you're facing, guys. If you don't learn the rules of the show, you end up getting banned in the show. What's the point of being here? Well, let's be clear. Michael and I have been, we use paper towels in between our sessions together. Well, let's be clear. Michael and I, we wrap our bodies with paper towels. No, these are not flip-flops, not like the kind you wear when you're going out on the beach wearing a flip-flop. This is flip-flop steam frying, and I haven't even shown you the flip-flop side yet, so bear with me. Really? Military people have $60 a year in savings and coupons? Well, there's a good reason to put your life at risk and get into boot camp and become one of those statistics and die. Every year, 350 people die in boot camp. Yeah, great idea. Oh, see? That just ruined my paper towel. By coughing into it, I know. I can't even wipe my hands with it because the germs in my mouth are now on my paper towel. So there you have it. Contamination 101. All right. Now don't put the garlic in yet. You just want to kind of put it on the side, get ready for it. Yeah. It's a good thing to think about. If your meal is not salty, you can put a little salt on it. And if you're really feeling special, like I am, I'm going to use the practically the only organic tacos or hot sauce that's out there right now. The organic brand makes like 5 or 6 different varieties of this stuff, and I'm just going to splash a little chili lime on it, okay? Just to throw it, kind of put it through the next dimension. Okay, here comes the flip-flop section of the show. Get ready. Get a big spatula. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of the. It's still now. I'm going to let it cook a little longer because I said bring it in frozen. I'm going to kind of let it steam right now before I flip-flop. I'm not quite there yet. Some of you have your foot cams ready to go in case you want to get a picture of my feet. Nice try. I keep my feet off the camera because some of you realize I have perfect feet. They were designed to be perfect, and I know that you're after perfect feet, and I'm not going to show it to you, you know. You can mince the garlic. Yeah, let's mince the garlic. What do you say? Which kind of knife do you want to use? How about I show you the French curl knife on that mincing? This is what makes the French curl knife so nice, is just kind of it rolls like that. So you put one tip down and just rock it. Rock it till you got your mince going. All right, here we go. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and flip everything over right now. This is the flip-flop moment. Let's do it. I'm gonna put a little hot sauce on top of everything. Just kind of dust it with a little hot sauce. That'll cook down when it's on the bottom. Go right into the base of this meal and just flip it right over, like that. Each burger goes right down on face first. Okay. And then cover it up. All right. Yeah, and now's a good time to put the garlic on. We'll just put it right in there. Isn't that wonderful? This is going to be delicious. I know. And what I love about that is that sardine flavor. I'm telling you, it totally blows into the rice with a great sense of taste. And this rice is the top of the line, brown, organic. There is no pesticides or herbicides in the rice. It's completely clean, as if it was harvested from the beautiful islands of Eden, right? Islands of Eden, where Adam and Eve used to live. Otherwise, we're eating pesticides and herbicides, and that's not good. Rice, though, does absorb a lot of heavy, technically rice itself can be contaminated, so always rinse your rice before you cook it. You can pre-cook rice and put it in the freezer, and it's just like this, but thank you. Hey, you're not allowed to make any sexual references in the show. That's a bannable offense. I'm going to mute that account, see if you can keep it. Maybe 2-3, you'll finally wake up and realize what's going on. No, I'm not here to push LGBTQ ideas on you. That's Pete Buttplug. He's running for president as a homosexual. I don't want to discriminate against people like Pete Buttplug, but I do want to make sure everyone knows that, you know, you will have a job in the military if you're openly gay. We're going to go back to pre-Trump times once I become president. Transgenders will be invited back into the military too. I think what Trump did is terrible. These guys suffered a great deal going through boot camp, and they want to work in the military. They want to support our country. Why wouldn't we have them, you know? Guys and gals. Openly transgender people like Pete Buttplug. I don't talk about homosexuals hardly ever. You brought it up. Yeah, you kept saying this chat was gay. Yeah. All right, well, you can use that word. So you see how long this lasts. I'll just wrap this up and suck the air out of it. Oh, it's a very filling meal. And just kind of squeeze that air out of it and compress it down. And you don't put it in the freezer, though. You put this in the freezer, forget it. It's useless. Yeah, I picked up a little bit of a natural cheese from Kraft here. I'm going to use that tonight. I got the whole big one for Colby cheese for 99 cents. I'm going to use half of that. Cheese and rice work really well together. Yeah. They call it natural cheese, Cliff. You want to rag on me for buying Kraft? It's an American product, okay? Just whatever. I buy a little bit past due. I mean, it had a quit date. Cheese doesn't have any serious quit date. You buy regular Colby, it'll get better. It gets more sharp as it sits in the refrigerator. I'm serious. You can keep that in the refrigerator for 6 years and it probably tastes like sharp cheese by the time you're done. Okay, Colby fish, Italian seasoning. Now I could use a little bit of my famous dillweed, being this is a fish dinner. I notice that my movements are more fluid now. Prior to this show, I was a little bit more syncopated, but now everything's much more fluid. You see how quick I can move? That's an upgrade. Okay, I'm going to dust it with a little bit of dillweed. Non-GMO, by the way. And now is a good time. Now is a good time to put that rice down. All right, so let's put the rice down, being it wasn't, quite defrosted in the microwave, because I don't use a microwave here at the show. I'm just going to take this microwavable package, which normally you put it face down, and it literally place this side down. So it goes face down to the red up. It bends out, and I just don't trust, cooking plastic in my meal. Hot dogs. Yeah, kids can eat hot dogs. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't put hot dogs in this meal unless you're desperate. And don't use sardine oil if you're using anything other than fish. Use regular oil. Yeah, I won't microwave this. I'm going to put it right on top of this entire dinner, okay? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. See how quick that was? I'm maintaining the integrity of this entire meal by steam frying. I am now going to take my temperature up to level, I know this is tough, but I'm going to take it up to level 5. All right. You see, I tried to deviate everyone says I was only using 3 and 6 on my heating, so I'm deviating. I'm going to level 5, everybody. If you go too hot on fish, you can overcook it. There's nothing worse than the patty dissolving in the meal. You want to retain the integrity of the patty. No, I'm going to level 5. I made a decision here. This is extremely important that I make qualified decisions in making this meal. We're going to DEFCON 5. No, the Brussels, they didn't ruin anything. They add flavor. You're an absolute imbecile if you think Brussels ruined something. Remember I talked about posting things? You're not allowed to do that here. Do it in the regular show, not here, now, right now. Howie is allergic to himself. He wakes up in the morning and he smells himself and he thinks he doesn't like the smell of women. Oh, Dijon mustard would be a good add-on, even a topical add-on to this meal. I wouldn't mind making a little bit of a Dijon mustard-aise. But I prefer yellow mustard because it has turmeric in it. Well, that's what I'm saying, Howie. I mean, you're smelling your body and you're saying how bad other people smell. And it's like you don't realize that many years ago they didn't even shower. You know that Ben Franklin hardly ever took a shower and he had sex with over 50 women? Yeah. It's one of the reasons why no one wanted to make him president, because he was running around with his dipstick all over the place. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine not having showered and then running around having sex with women? Ben Franklin. Yeah, read his bio. Unbelievable. You look at him and how could a woman even begin to want to have sex with a man like that? Well, apparently he had that special thing women like, I know, it's at level 5. I don't think you're allowed to use that name in the show. Now, I'm making somewhat like grits, and yeah, but it's not. It's rice. I don't know. I don't track Hitler's dog. That's something Donald Trump would be interested in. Why don't you contact him and talk to him about Hitler's dog? He's a big fan of Hitler. Donald Trump used to read Hitler's speeches before he went to bed, according to a deposition by his ex-wife Ivana Trump, the mother of Ivanka. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next level. Are you ready to flip-flop again? I am, aren't you? I'm not going to use all this cheese, but I am going to use some of it. So I'm going to cut some of it right now. And I'm not going to use a good blade to cut it. I'm going to use the French cut because, frankly, the good blade will be contaminated by this, just cutting it. Yeah. So roughly a quarter cup of shredded cheese, roughly. Or a quarter cup. That's probably enough right there. I'm not going to use the whole thing. This way I can have a sandwich later. A sandwich. Not a sandwich, a sandwich. Okay. Here comes flip-flop number 2. The final moment for flipping. Okay, here we go. Spread the rice around like this. Make sure it's nice and cooked. Or at least it's broken up. It's not quite ready yet. You see that? Okay, do the same thing. You want to flip everything over again. Grab underneath. Grab one of the patties. Go like that. Same with that patty. And same with that patty. There you go. And then take your cheese and nicely lay it on top. You're still at level 5. 3 slices per patty, or 1 full slice will do it. Cover it up. Survey says. You can throw other seasoning on top, a little bit of more hot sauce here, 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 here. More pepper. And a little salt shaker if you want. It's up to you. Salt to taste. Still at level 5. I'm going to turn everything off and go in the other room in a second. It's pretty much done. Can you believe how simple this is? I don't use a lot of salt, Howie. You know that. You notice how I exercise constantly during the day? This is part of my basic exercise to maintain tensile strength in my hardcore elements. The rice is nominal and it's good for your digestion, New York EMT. I'm not going to show you my feet today. You were lucky last time. Oh, I haven't done enough of these things because when I was working on my abs of steel, they became flabs of steel. So I've got to keep working at it. And if you don't constantly exercise, you forget. So I don't eat too much. No, I keep my intake under 2,000 calories a day because that's all my primary unit needs to function. After the methane is produced, it then powers up the internal engines which charge my battery system, which is hydrogen-based. The food you ate in federal prison, geez, that's sad. Or rather, I'm glad they're feeding people such good food in our federal prisons. That's great. You can look at it 2 different ways. Yeah, the Polak flip-flop. No, it's the Pollock au gratin flip-flop. Whatever. It's flip-flop, steam fry, and this is flex cooking. And you can do it with any type of a meal. But if you do a sardine base, you have to stick to the fish idea. Now, I was going to put shrimp in here. And I had a whole package of shrimp I could do this with, but it would have brought my numbers up to around $8 for 6. And I'm trying to help people maintain the low cost. So when you get ready to prepare to feed people with this meal, you cut the burger in half, and then you just dig into the base and then set it on their plate. And then the other half goes to another person. 6 people could eat out of this meal. Now the nice thing about this meal is you can turn it down to a low flame now and let it sit, and it'll just get better and better in its own steam. So let me show it to you before I cap it for later. Da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. Isn't it amazing? It slices, it dices, it makes
Mounds and mounds of coleslaw.
Okay, we're done, and I'm going to step out into the other show. Thank you for watching Dave's Kitchen. It's always been a pleasure. Signing off with another recorded broadcast in the future. I'll be uploading this at 2 in the morning tonight, so if you want to see it again, David John Sponheim's YouTube account, you'll have to wait. All right, take care, everybody. See you later.